Welcome
Welcome
to Shade
to
and the
Shade in
City.
the City.
I am your girl Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are here to do the love and the marriage that is in the DMV. Okay. Season 3, episode 3. And I'm so excited because we're going to have a special guest here with us who is also, look, I don't know if she want me giving out her location and stuff, but she's also in the area. So we're really excited. So please, Shade Squad, all of our new viewers, make sure that you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And yeah, let's jump into this intro and then we're going to get into it. Let's get shady. Okay, y'all know I always gotta come back in.
Bopping your head.
You know, I got a little bop with it. But yes, so let's introduce our special guest doing our review and our recap with us today. So let's bring her up. Welcome,
Really, P.
Hey, listen, I thought this was gonna be live. My bad. I was trying to share it. I was like, I don't see the video.
Oh no. I'm sorry. I was like, yeah, girl,
you're fine. I'll share it on the when you post it.
So y'all, we're gonna jump into first scene with we see the guys, they still at the wrestling ring or whatever, and you know, they're asking Clifton about this whole throuple situation. Hold on, I done uploaded them, so I might as well use it. Here we go.
Yep.
All right. And so, you know, basically he says that it started because they were supposed to take a couples trip. And if y'all remember, for the Ready to Love fans, Donovan kind of just dumped her. Allegedly, but that's kind of what happened. And
there's more to that story, but okay.
Oh.
So when she said
spill the tea, really big.
I thought she meant offline. I thought they meant offline.
I think it's more to that story. I don't know more details than that. I think it's more to that story.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
and I didn't think he was talking about on the show.
I would assume because because you know I follow them, so it seemed like her, Donovan, and Clifton and Joi were really kind of, because you know they were the two at the end.
Yeah, they hung out for a while, and then it just was the three of them, and you were like, okay, wow,
right? And then it was
because I followed them too. So when Joi was like, they've been dealing with this a long time, she was right, because they've been almost since when I remember when they first posted those pictures of them, they took like a road trip or something, and I was like,
Girl. How you feel about this throuple situation, really, B?
I think it's not a good look. I think that it's not about, you know, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but I think Joi's attitude is way too nonchalant, because it's not about jealousy, it's about respect. I don't like, you can trust Cliff, and you can trust that Cliff isn't doing something he shouldn't be doing, but it's not a good look. And to me, it is disrespectful, because when I saw those videos, I thought the same thing. I was like, what is that about? Like, I wouldn't be comfortable with my man posting those types of videos with a female friend, even if I knew her, even if I was cool with her. It's not a good look.
You're a Virgo? Was it you that's a Virgo?
I'm a Cancer.
Oh, okay.
But this is why we vibe. We're water signs.
Yes. So
no, Treese is way too understanding. Don't
don't do that. So anyway,
she said don't do that.
So basically, yeah, Donovan.
She gives joy. Isn't Joi a Pisces?
She is, but don't.
Yeah, you give joy.
I think she's that other type of fish, though. She's the other.
You think everybody the other type of fish?
that's like trying to be like, you're like Krishan. No,
she's a Pisces.
I'm just saying.
Everybody, look, you mentioned a crazy Pisces to her. No, that's that other fish. That's the other fish.
The other one.
There's only two fish, Treese. There's only two fish.
All right.
Well, I claim Cancer all day. Well, I'm very much a Cancer. I am a Cancer. So I understand. I own it. A lot most of it. I own it. Yeah.
So we know that she done went out here, went on all these trips with them, and you know, basically all the other guys are like, yeah, our wives ain't doing that. Ashley Silver would never. Would never.
Which should have been Cliff's clue. Like they were saying it without saying it.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were
Like,
saying
let
it
me
without
help you out, brother, so you get yourself in trouble.
Right.
That's what it was
I
giving.
think he knows, but I mean, his wife is just so lax that he's like, F what y'all saying, that's your wife. My wife over here, you need to understand what we doing. It's, basically mind your business.
Well,
So that's how Cliff coming off too.
Not I said the kid.
Right.
Wouldn't be me.
so then we see Jamie bringing up, oh, it's so much tension last time we were all together. And I felt like Quick was kind of playing dumb in this scene because he's like, why do you think Joi and Ashley can't get along? Quick, come on. Let's be real. We know why. And you're very well aware why, because your wife spilled the beans. And we all know I'm Team Ashley over here, but still, I'll tell her when she's wrong. So, because she spilled the beans about her and Clifton being married or whatever. Black had no idea. So he's like, oh, cool, congratulations. And then, Quick goes into this whole thing about how, but if it was your wife and you told her to keep a secret and she told somebody else, wouldn't you be mad at your wife? And I kind of was with Clifton on this one, because I do feel like you are supposed to protect Ashley. I absolutely agree. But like Black said, behind closed doors, you're supposed to be able to say when she's wrong. And that goes both ways, even with Clifton.
I agree with Clifton when he said, yeah, you ask it Black, but Black and my wife don't get along.
Oh,
so he gonna jump on that bandwagon.
And then if y'all really want some tea, so I've been wondering why we have not seen Sharella yet. And word on the YouTube streets is that Joi refused to film with her.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. So let me say this. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I heard this. Let me just say this. No,
we'll go down there with you, girl.
I heard the same thing. And what I find very interesting is that Carlos King has so much criticism for Bravo shows, but he has these things going on his own show. How do you have literally allowed cast members to say, I am not going to film with this person?
Right.
And now, for the most part, now Carlos said in his interview the other night with Ashley and Winter that we will see Sharella and Black more towards the end of the season. But he was like, because they did go on a couples retreat and this, that, and the other, or the couples trip or whatever. But I agree with you. Like, how do you allow that to happen? Like, to me, I don't think that was cool.
And not even that, I actually liked her. I really enjoyed Sharella on the show. So I was like, where is our entertainment? We need to bring her back. She was just a ball full of fun.
Yeah, but they said that that there were people that just refused to film, and they said Joi would show up when she wanted to, would leave when she wanted to, would not come to stuff when she didn't want to. And I don't understand.
That ain't this type of fish. That ain't.
And you over here making demands.
Right.
Show that contract is null and void.
Okay.
So Trace, thank you for your services.
But what I will say is, I think there's something deeper. This is, in my opinion, and maybe that's why Ashley has a little bit of fire up under her behind about Joi. I think it's deeper than what we're seeing, just her saying about them. Like, because I just don't I don't think it deserves this much energy. You know what I'm saying? Like this much hate. And I feel like it's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
So here's my opinion about it. And I said this the other night on my live, and I was like, I might get cussed out, but whatever. So here's my opinion. Ashley was like, her and Joi were actually friends before the show. She was like, I absolutely pitched her, even though the Taylor said they pitched her too, and that's fine. They probably did. She said, I absolutely pitched Joi, but me and Joi like were friends, like hung out. She'd been at my house. We'd been at events together. We spent time together. So it wasn't just a passing, we're getting to know each other so we can do a show together.
We were trying to build a bond.
Right. Uh-huh. So this is my opinion. Joi and Clifton were trying to make this wedding their storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So them being married throws off the storyline. I think that Joi pissed Ashley off, and I love Ashley, and I understand Ashley, and so that's why I know what Ashley did. Right. Ashley did exactly what she did on purpose. She absolutely told their secret to ruin their storyline. I
Mm.
think she would. I think that was purposefully done. So this is deeper.
Because
Yes,
it's about
in my
business now.
opinion,
Yeah.
right. In my opinion, it is deeper than you just telling my secret. I think now, not only have you told my secret, but you've ruined my whole reason for being on the show.
Because you messing with my money. And then I also heard that they were also thinking of doing like, I guess Ready to Love was allegedly in talks about giving them a special behind their wedding, which Lord knows we need it. Because what couple have we actually seen make it from Ready to Love, like actually get married? So I was like, okay, I could see that. And so maybe that's another thing too, because she's really messing with her bag.
Right. I know that they were pitching it. I don't know if Ready to Love picked it up. And the only reason why I say that is I'm cool with Simone.
Oh yes, love Simone.
Yes, I'm cool with Simone. I was at her engagement party, her
Oh,
and Rashid
Oh,
and all
hold
of
up,
that.
Virgo Simone.
yeah. And
Ready to Love Simone. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
there's two. There's two.
No, the one that was engaged to
the one
Rashid.
with Rashid.
Okay, yeah, she cute.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I was at their engagement party. Matter of fact, Simone, I just talked to Simone the other day. We're cool. I know for a fact, because I've talked to them. I know for a fact that when Ready to Love realized that they were dating, seriously dating, they did reach out to Rashid and said, listen, when you're ready to propose, let us know. And
Mhm.
that's why they ended up on the show, because he let them know, hey, I'm ready to do it. How can we work this out? And so that is how that whole thing happened. As far as a wedding special, though, I know that OWN was hesitant about a wedding special. That doesn't mean they wouldn't have gotten one,
Right.
but I know up until, and actually I shouldn't say that because they didn't get one. But what they were doing was they were actually filming their own content, because they had a YouTube channel.
Right.
So they were actually filming their own content that they were going to put on their YouTube channel that was basically their wedding.
Mhm.
I think they even called it Ready to Wed or something like that.
Yeah.
Their hope was that Ready to Love would pick it up. You know what I mean? I mean, ultimately. So I believe that production probably reached out to them about, when you're ready, let us know. And maybe they would have maybe figured out a way to put Joy and Clifton on the show like they did with Rashid and Simone. However, a wedding special, I can't say no. I can say I don't know.
Okay. And
But
I can
I
say
can
how
see
sad I
production
am. I
reaching
would have
out.
been here for a special for Simone and
Oh,
Rashid.
absolutely. And
I was
I feel like,
heartbroken as hell.
right. And I feel like we could have probably gotten like I could see them giving Camille and
Oh,
Cornelius
Camille and
one,
Cornelius,
only
absolutely.
because their story was so, on the show, it was such a popular,
Right.
Camille was
She's the girl you love to hate. She's a Pisces too.
right.
oh,
I
she
could
ain't that other fish, huh?
definitely,
No,
yeah,
she's
I
not
could
the other
definitely
fish.
see
Me and
them
Camille,
getting her.
me and Camille. I will slide to her DMs real like, hey girl.
Yeah. So I could see them giving them a wedding special. Joy and Clifton, I liked Joy and Clifton. Even after the reunion when everybody was like, hey, I liked her until the reunion. I still liked Joy. So I mean, I could definitely see, but I know that they were pitching it. I know that was a conversation, because
Mm.
Carmen said that. Because
Okay.
Carmen telling everything.
Well, now that we'll get into that, but yeah, now that she's gotten cut off. All right, Nels, you want to jump into
Oh, you were done.
Jamie and yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much, unless you got something to add to that scene, that was pretty much it. I felt like they was just talking about them beefing and what they can do and argue. What
And then,
else you
okay, well, okay, I'm gonna leave it there then.
got?
Then Jamie and Arena and Mama T, they all went to a pet shop. It was so cute because she got a little Mushu, her little her pet bearded dragon. I was like, ain't that so cute? She done named this damn thing Mushu.
You
They
think
were
that's
going.
cute?
Why you think that face?
I ain't
No,
think.
Mushu from Mulan, the dragon. It,
I don't.
you got a child now, okay? Catch up with the Disney movies. All right, catch up.
That's why I'm not watching them. I don't even think I watched Milan when I was that age to watch Milan.
Jesus on the curtain. Okay. Well, basically they there to get the baby some worms, okay? Now they said this damn thing is so spoiled, okay, including the store attendant. He said this he couldn't believe the baby was 7 months. He's like, what the hell are you feeding this damn thing? She's like, oh, you know those green horned worms. He's like, oh, that baby is sick.
Right.
It's spoiled. That's expensive as hell.
He was like, those are expensive.
Did you see when they got to the register? He was like, you want to add anything else? You want? Look, clearly I got it. Because what else you need? Okay. So then when they got to the back of the store, they saw these big tortoises. I never even saw a store that said, I need to know what type of pet shop this is.
I'm sure.
What the hell is this at? I ain't never saw no tortoise in no pet shop.
I was gonna say, I think it might be DC, but don't get me lying. I don't know if that would be in DC.
Yeah, I don't know. I
you
didn't know.
DC? I was thinking a Maryland thing. I don't know. It was it was giving real bougie to me because I never ever seen no tortoise just in no pet shop. So basically, Jamie said, the little one reminds him of Quick, because all it was doing is, first of all, it's small. He was like, all it's doing is moving its mouth just like Quick.
That was shade. That was shade.
That was super shade. Super duper shade. Super duper shade.
And it was.
Now, Arena wanted to know about Carmen posting the videos with Clifton talking about, hey, bestie. Okay. Jamie said that he was actually talking with Clifton about that at the wrestling match. And apparently Carmen is just their PR person, for the both of them. Arena's like, what? That don't look right. So we posting that all over social media, and she wants to know how he feels about it. Okay, because she's like, you know what? I done been through too much in my marriage. I gotta let my girl know this is not the look, boo. This is not what it's supposed to be. So Jamie basically gave her a weird face, like. So she's like, what's that for? What, you don't agree? Why did it have to turn into this? Okay, because then it was a whole back and forth.
I think she was putting 20 on 10.
You said what?
I think she was putting 20 on 10.
You know what's so funny? I actually saw that being you.
What? No. No.
No, only because
of my bad analogies.
Well, because I think, right, she was just like, I'm just asking a question. And he saw that it could have turned to them, right? So he's like, I'm not giving you no answers, right? And she's like, it's just a yes or no. And just kept on kind of poking. And I was like,
I'm not like that. Don't believe her, Shade Squad. I'm innocent until proven guilty, okay?
I felt like the same thing.
Another guest on here to prove you guilty.
Shut up.
Ooh, my daggone camera. Ooh, this camera irritates.
Mom be doing that. I gotta hit it. Sometimes I gotta hit it or close it.
Yeah, this camera, I don't know. It's weird. It just, and I don't, everybody keep trying to tell me what to do with the setting. I don't know.
It's bad.
Yeah. But I feel the same way. I feel like she was putting 20 on 10. I was confused by that whole conversation. I didn't understand how we got there. Right. I felt like Deborah Cox. I was like, how did we get here? Yes. I was confusion. I feel like Jamie answered her question.
Yes, he did. I agree.
But I feel like he questioned it, but I feel like he wanted a moment.
He said it's not about us. They ain't got nothing to do with us. He said, I don't think it's right. He did say no. But he did.
Well, no, even before that, he said, well, we was telling Cliff the same thing. And before he could finish explaining, she cut him off and was like, but yes or no. But yes or no. And he was like,
and that's why I think that he saw where it was going. And he's like, it don't matter what answer I give you right now.
I'm gonna be in trouble.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm in trouble.
So he was like, I'm not about to answer that for you, boo.
Yeah, I agree. It just seemed like it went with somewhere it didn't need to go. I was with Jamie on that one, like crazy.
Right.
The mama and the poor baby bearded dragon's ears. I was like, goodness. So basically, he said, yeah, he was like, it's not about me. And I get loud and I get aggressive when I get irritated. So yeah, you're not getting that out of me today. Okay.
He really did try to warn her. He warned her. He was like, now listen.
I think he started, in the first season, like in the beginning, he was like, he just let you have it. But I think he's actually trying to take notice of, his temper and how he comes off. So
shout out to Intuitive Terry for her good work.
Yes.
I know Terry in real life. That's why I said in real
talk. So basically, he was like, she's a whole hypocrite. Okay, because this is what was happening when she was in business with her partner, okay, in her business relationship. And then she's talking about, well, this ain't about us. Okay, I just asked you a question. So then she left, said he's a fool. And basically, mama just want to know who paying for the worms.
Right.
Right. She said, so who paying for this though?
She like, okay, y'all in the store acting a damn fool. Like, right?
Right.
Right. And it was like, I was like, wait a minute, on top of the fact that this thing is spoiled and you buying him top shelf, you ain't even paying for it.
Right.
So then outside, Arena basically keeps it going. She said, I just asked you a question. He said, I ain't gotta answer you. Drop it. Drop it, lady. Okay. So he said, it ain't got nothing to do with him. He talks to Clifton, and now, she said that she can talk to Joy and, basically let Joy come up with her own opinions. He basically called her a hypocrite again, okay, and said, I wish you had the same energy about 5 years ago. Okay, when your partner was posting y'all online and y'all looking all close and cozy. She said she didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Now that right there would have got you cursed out. Because what you're not about to do is play in my face and act like you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Don't bring up some stuff, get me all heated. You dismissing me. So basically, she said she don't remember him posting her on his page or child, whatever. Okay. And she feels like every time they get into an argument, the same stuff keeps on coming up. Well, I'm not sure. You brought it up though.
I will say, I mean, they gave us a little bit in the first season about, him falling asleep with the stop lights and the stop signs and whatnot. But yeah, no, allegedly, apparently they
ain't never get no ticket for that.
You stupid.
He never get locked up for that.
No, I don't think.
He didn't even have to do a night in jail.
Look, I don't think they had the speed cameras and the light cameras out then.
They ain't gotta be. They had the pose. Yeah. And if you was doing it that often, you'd at least came home with a ticket, something.
Valid
point. I need some receipts.
Well, valid points, but yeah, a word on the YouTube streets is they've been like that for a while. And what they've been together for almost 30 years. So I mean, shout out.
Yeah.
If you can make it through all that that they saying, I mean, hey, you like it, I love it.
I wouldn't want to make it through none of that.
Nell said, not me. Get somebody else to do it.
Basically. Better get somebody else to do it.
And so now we're jumping into, Quick and Ashley. They decide to do like a cute little family outing. I thought it was very cute. And basically, Quick wants to focus more on his health after his, health scares in the past. And working himself to death. So he pulls Ashley to the side for a conversation about the wrestling and the whole conversation with about the ladies and their beef. And Ashley basically says she's tried to establish a relationship with Joy and she's done. At this point, she just don't want it no more. She's like, I don't need it. I don't need it. You don't need it. Okay. Then Quick says that, oh hey, by the way, well since you're not cool with Joy, how would you feel about, I want to invite everybody. I said, she just told you she don't like her. But, he's like, no. And, how do you feel about me inviting you? So she's like, fine, do whatever you want, very brushed it off. But again, she's annoyed. And my whole thing is they're both Scorpios, but Ashley definitely gives that. So he had to know, okay, she said it's okay, but please don't think that she's not going to give them.
That's why he waited till he was in front of the camera.
Right. He had to know that she was going to give them that energy.
Not that Ashley really gives that she really gives a damn.
And so basically she talks about wanting to reach out to little Jamie. She says, she realized when they went over to the Tylers that he's like really hurting. And, obviously she sees a connection with the relationship with her mother and the relationship between little Jamie and big Jamie or whatever. And so she hopes by being able to talk to him, they can talk about his feelings, emotions, so he's not harboring them for years and actually get to the root of his hurt, which I thought was pretty dope of her. And then it makes me sad because then I wonder how things are now, because based off of what I see on Twitter and IG and stuff, it don't look like the Tylers and the, I mean, it don't look like they.
No, they're not rocking. They're not.
Okay, that's what yeah.
They're not even speaking. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Well, I mean, not that we could get into that, but I don't know where this show goes. Like, nobody is speaking to each other.
Right. And Ashley said I saw it on Twitter, I think it was like a week or so ago, and she was like, I refuse to like film. Like you said, they're refusing the film thing. I refuse to film with people I don't with, basically.
So besides the whole cheating stuff or allegedly cheating, what I'm also not about to do is live my whole life with you talking crazy to my son. That just this 30 years thing don't mean nothing to me because it is straight BS. They sound like that was struggle love. It sound like she was trapped.
Well, you
See,
know,
I
she
see it a little differently.
because wasn't she married or not married, or wasn't she? Because she met she was Jamie was her side piece. Remember?
Jamie was her side piece. Yep.
What do I mean?
So maybe he like I don't want to say saved her, but it seemed like she really didn't want to be in that situation with Brittany's dad that she was in. So that's
Saved
how
her how?
Jamie.
Because he had money.
I don't know. I don't.
Who had money?
Jamie be talking about, he an event planner. He be doing
He
it.
has it now, but
I
back,
think he has it now. I don't think he
yeah,
had it 30 years ago when
I
they
was gonna say
first
because
met.
back
I mean,
then
I
I
think
think he was just the police.
yeah, he was
He was
probably
broke and you had this nasty ass attitude. Absolutely not.
You
Absolutely
stupid.
not. It would have
well.
been a
I
20
think
nothing.
for me, I see it a little differently as far as the talking to my son crazy thing. Listen, I think that's part of. One thing they said that I agree with is she said it was in a deleted scene where they showed her talking to Ashley and saying, I wish I had been harder on Jamie when he was younger. Like Jamie started getting in trouble like when he was in middle high school. So
In
this isn't
those cases,
new.
that's why it came.
Right. Yeah, this isn't new. This didn't just happen. But I think the problem is y'all go through all of this. You show us the cussing out and the fighting and the this and the that. But then in the next minute, Jamie doing good. Jamie doing so much better. Jamie this, little Jamie this, little. First of all, can we stop calling him little Jamie?
Mm.
That boy is almost 30 years old. Can we stop? You know what I mean? Like that's part of
Yeah.
the problem. And then I'm not saying leave him on the street, homeless and destitute, but I think sometimes we make it too easy for them to come back. So, although I'm not going to say I always agree with how Jamie chooses to handle things, but I understand his frustration. But part of the problem is you can't, it's hard. I ain't going to say you can't. It's hard to go from one extreme to the other.
Mm-hmm.
The coddling, the spoiling. They were probably those same
And
parents.
you a bum and all this stuff. Like,
Right. But they were probably the same parents that when the school was calling and the school was trying to do certain things, they would get mad at the school or they don't know what they talking about. My son this and my son that. Okay. I work at the school. I deal with it. And so if he had been getting this in trouble since high school and y'all saw it, I don't know.
So, to your point, I don't know, and I think it may have something to do with too. Obviously Jamie was a cop. That's not, you know what I mean. That's not a job you can go into and be nice. So I'm not making excuses for his behavior and how he handles
Right.
this, but I can understand why it's hard to separate, especially when you deal with
Mm-hmm.
actual criminals on the street, and now you see your son maybe headed in that direction. But I also think Raina has to accept some fault as well, because I think
Mm-hmm.
she tries to paint this picture of, oh, everything's fine, everything's perfect. So to your point, really
well, she
be
said that.
right. So when the school was calling, she's acting like everything is no, and look at us, and we're going on vacation, and we're a happy and I think it's more, you know what I mean, and instead of actually addressing the issue.
And I'm be honest with you, in my opinion, I mean, this is totally me pontificating. I think part of the reason why
That
it is
word.
hard for them, I think part of the reason why
She
it's
like,
hard for
thank
you
you.
to have the real conversation and have the honest conversation is because I think, in my opinion, I think a lot of Jamie's hurt and a lot of his acting out probably came from the fact that they showed so much attention to Jason.
Mm.
As a kid, I think his acting out was because see, kids don't care what kind of attention they get; they just want attention.
Right.
And I don't think that they were purposefully trying to be to exclude, or to not be there for Lil Jamie, but Jason needed so much
Much
from him.
more. Right.
And like they talked about in season 1, Urana was working, Jamie was working. So they were already struggling to be there to do the things they needed to do for Jason. How much
Right.
did they have left for Jamie?
That's
So
a
I
real
think
Supposedly they
I
sent the
think
boy
that's
away
part
to
of,
school.
and I think that's part of why it's hard for them to, because how do you say I was jealous of my brother who I knew needed y'all because he had a disability, but nobody was there for me. And I'm not, that's my opinion. I'm on the outside looking in, but I feel like that's part of it.
No, I actually think that's a very good point. I feel like I said that in season 1. I was like, yeah. So no, I can agree with that point.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Nails.
All right, so Joy and Arena, they met up for some photography and some sipping. Okay, Arena sat her down and immediately let her know how she felt about Carmen out with Clifton posting them together and being called a throuple. Now she doesn't feel like she should get, basically Joy doesn't feel like she should give it too much energy, because she said she doesn't, but she understands from an outsider's point of view. Um, but she said Carmen is a ride or die. Okay. She's honest. She's loyal. She's upfront. But she does let her know that she does appreciate her being a mama bear. Okay. And she wished that she would have had that same energy here in this, right here in this girl group. Girl, you going outside when we had an issue right up in here. Okay. And basically, Arena was like, yeah, the girls could be a lot. Okay. And asked her if she was coming to the game. So Joy says, she seemed like she was really still thinking about it. You know what I mean? She didn't give a full on answer, but she let her know that she did try to reach out to Ashley via text, got no response. And Arena is really just hoping that she gets a response from Ashley before it's game time. Okay, because it could really
So
go.
you're not gonna mention the finger twins.
Oh, girl, I forgot about that.
I was like, well, damn, Joy. And then you wonder why she don't like you.
Right. I thought that was a lie. I was like,
Right.
wow.
That was kind of a low blow. That's probably
Right.
why. Yeah, she was reaching.
I'm not. Shadeinthecity does not condone violence. But if I was Ashley and I watched that back and I saw you on the street, please no. We're gonna have words. Because one thing I can't say, Ashley may take low blows like, oh, you're a karaoke singer, but no shade. She does like sing in different establishments. She's doing cover songs. Like, I promise you, I'm not trying to be shady to do it because again, we're Pisces, we're creative. This is what we do. So I'm not taking shots. I'm just saying that her lane is, covers and things like that, and doing, it's be like being a Vegas singer, right? So I mean, in my mind, I wouldn't say it's as bad as karaoke, but like, but the whole finger thing, I was like, oh, so now
I thought it was actually kind of cute. Like the
and
half
it seemed
of
like it came out of nowhere. Like,
right.
Girl, I felt like she was waiting forever to say that.
And then I didn't, and see, that's the thing. You say things like that, and then you want Arena to protect you. You a whole big grown ass woman. Arena don't need to cover for you or protect you. I don't know. And then it's so funny because it didn't tick to me until you said it back, and I was like, oh. Why do you need somebody to come in? Because you made a point. What was it? Last review, you were like, oh, Arena went and checked on Joy because she knew Ashley didn't need her to check on her. And now that really makes sense.
Interesting.
Your thoughts, really big?
I don't disagree. I just thought that was a lie. I felt like you said, I feel like Joy throwing that in there, I thought that was a low blow. Because again, if you really are trying to make peace and you're really trying to move forward, that's not the kind, I mean, that's just not the way that's not how that works.
Right. Right. Well, then we see
Ashley and Alicia off.
What'd you say?
I said now she done pissed Ashley and Alicia off.
Okay. And that's one I believe that don't have a problem. Alicia.
Oh, Alicia?
Uh-huh.
And she ain't got no cameras on her? Girl, please. I'm pulling up.
Oh, not pulling up.
All right, so we see our next scene. We see Ashley, and terrible. I caught the screenshot. She looked like she's falling asleep in the chair. But she's at the doctor about her insomnia. As we know, she talked about this last season. She admits that she's on medication for anxiety and depression. And while, talking about how she experiences brain fog and, all this other stuff, she basically says she hasn't had a good night's sleep in like 8 years. So the doctor believes that it may be perimenopause and wants to do blood work, check her hormone levels. And then Ashley basically tells her that she had her estrogen tested and it was very high. And so basically the doctor was like, well, maybe that's what it is. And you have an estrogen dominance issue. And Ashley is like, oh, so does that mean I become a super BIT? And
and it was great, basically, yeah.
And you know what's so funny? I'm not gonna lie. Again, love Ashley. I was like, maybe that's why you're so angry, because you need some sleep. Like, for real. Because I know when I don't sleep,
and she can't get none. And she just can't get none.
Right.
She just can't.
I become vicious. So I was like, no, I get it. I get it. But that was pretty much that scene.
All right. So Arena and Jamie met with the intuitive healer, Terry. Basically, she's coming over because Arena's still upset about what happened at the pet shop. Of course she did. She didn't get her damn answer. Okay. And she
gonna keep going.
She fired up. Okay. So they both explained their sides, that, she was upset that he wouldn't answer her question. Then he got upset because he got triggered because it reminded him of her and her partner and their past, and how, basically they was doing the same thing that Clifton and Carmen was doing. You know what's so bad? I don't like Carmen, but Carmen and Clifton actually sounds cute.
You're terrible.
It do. It sounds cute. It got a little ring to it.
Clifton and Carmen.
Okay. So basically Terry brought up the fact that, this is years later and it's still coming up. He was like, because I'm right. She said, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Okay. And, when he answered, that he wants to be happy, basically she said, well, then stop it. Shut it down. Okay. And basically, I don't know who said this. Hold up.
She basically
Arena. Arena said that they never really talked about it. They just kind of, like she does, swept it under the rug, moved past it, tried to push through, and it's about it coming up. Okay. Terry let them know that just because, she sees something that she doesn't agree with and he doesn't want to speak on it, she don't need to get upset about it. Okay. And she let him know, just because, she says something or, brings up something from the past, doesn't mean he needs to be triggered by it. Okay. So both of y'all just go sit in your little happy little corners and what?
So I just had this thought, and this is gonna sound so terrible. Please don't judge me. But when I was watching it, I thought back to how literally all of season 1 and season 2, they were talking about how Arena wasn't getting none. And so, hey, I'm not saying it's a marriage, and I'm not saying you just give up, but it's like Jamie is giving her all this energy, and part of it, do we need to look into the fact that maybe because y'all weren't hunching, maybe y'all were going outside to other parties instead of, and maybe that's why she decided to, like, I don't know. It's just, to me, if for her to get that, Arena doesn't seem like she's vindictive like that. Like she would be trying to do something or looking for something. But I think if it came to her and she wasn't fulfilled, I definitely think that it could roll up on her and her not realize. That's just me. Because, what did they say? What is the song? What I get at home, you give me attention. Hey, you're the one that understands my needs. Oh, you don't.
Oh, okay. Wait, I know where you're going, because you had me lost for a second.
I'm sorry. It's things I miss at home. Okay,
because I was like, what? Usually I'm
down, and girl, you don't know nothing about that wheel down. It's that's old. That's wrong. But your thoughts, really, big?
I'm gonna be really honest, because I felt like the whole thing was just so ridiculous back at the pet store. This whole scene, I just didn't care about none of it. I was just really like, I felt like, if you want to know my honest, and I said this on my review, I just felt like I felt like it was fake and produced. I felt like Jamie and Urena decided this was something they were going to do for a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it just didn't come off genuine. Now I could be totally wrong, but that's how I felt.
Okay.
So I wasn't, you know what I mean? Because it seemed like I think it's a real issue that they've had in their marriage, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
They're
because of the
not really
Joy and
facing
Clifton
it right
thing,
now.
yeah, I feel like because of the Joy and Clifton thing, they were like, oh, we can connect it to this and let's talk about this because she spent the first 10 minutes of her visit with Terry talking about Clifton and Joy in the throuple.
That's another thing, and don't get me wrong, I can understand your intention being good, but minding the business that pays you, it
She's trying
goes
to
a long
warn
way.
her. She's trying to warn her. Don't end up like me. 27 years later, regretting putting up with all this mess.
Okay,
She's trying to warn her, child. Get
okay.
out now.
I do think that her intention was coming from a good place, but my thing is say it and then be done with it. Like
Right.
you can warn me and you can say, "Hey, I see this. I think I see this. I think I see that." But either I'm gonna take heed or I'm not gonna take heed. So
Because
at that point,
I bet you in all them 27 years, somebody tried to warn her ass, and guess what? She said, "Let me be
Yeah,
stupid."
listen, right.
and I think that's just where Joy is with it right now.
And we
Right.
better not be doing nothing. Clifton better not be doing nothing. It just look
I
crazy.
would hope not. That would actually, I would be heartbroken for her. I would be heartbroken for
It
her.
better just look crazy.
All right, so then we get into game night, fight night, whatever you want to call it. But
Wow.
we here in the suite, and Ashley and Quick get there. Quick trying to act like, oh, ain't nobody text me back. I don't know who
I
coming.
loved her hair in this scene.
Who, Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. So then basically, Clifton, she lets him know she's still upset about, Clifton saying she's jealous of them, and they all get there. Jamie's like, there's a lot of tension in this room. What the hell is going on? Are we good? And basically, Ashley's like, no, we're not good.
Because
We're
I'm
not.
jealous. I'm jealous over here.
Okay, because I'm jealous. So then Joy, I think, did the appropriate thing. She said, Ashley, would you like to go have a conversation outside? I will give Joy that. She did, because the thing is, I think that Ashley feeds off. Like I heard somebody say it the other day, but for some people, attention is like a dopamine. And it gives you, like, you get something off of it. You know what I mean? And so I think trying to do that or address that in a room full of people would have only just amped her up even more. I actually, in my opinion, thought Ashley was calm when they talked one-on-one, calmer than she normally is. So hats off to Joy for having that cognizance to, let me tell her to take her outside. And so basically we see Joy and Ashley, they go have a conversation outside, and Ashley basically tells her she thinks her even being there is foolish, and doesn't even know why they're there. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what type of Pisces she is, but I protect my peace. So if I know you don't like me and I like you, I don't like you, I don't put myself in spaces, or I try not to put myself in spaces that make me uncomfortable. Just at my big age, I've learned in life. but yeah, so then she brings up her not responding to her invite, and then says, but she came to her house, she acted a damn fool. Joy's like, so you don't think anything that happened was warranted? You don't think that you provoked anything? And Ashley's like, no, because you walked in my house and didn't speak. And then they bring up the subject of her spilling the tea about them being married and how she apologized. And Joy was like, well, I didn't feel it. And she was like, what you want me to do? How many times do you want me to apologize?
Yeah, she was like, it wasn't consistent. She's like, what, you want me to text you I'm sorry every day?
And so, and then, Joy basically says that she was blindsided by Ashley saying she brought them on the show. Ashley doesn't think this conversation is going anywhere. I agree. Then she brings up Clifton saying Ashley was jealous of them, and Joy asks how they can be in the same room, and Ashley says she doesn't want to be in the same room. And I'm not saying because again, as Really B said, we have a real issue here, because now we're not filming like we're putting down these hard, but I will, hats off to protecting your peace. But unfortunately, this is a TV
thing
show.
Is, if I tell you though, so Ashley could have been being petty, whatever, right? But if we just had a conversation and I just said I don't want to be in the same room with you, why are you going back into my suite?
That now, see, I was because
honestly, okay, that's a great point. And then when she
that
said,
is a valid point,
and she was like, I don't have to go. I said, Joy, you about to You about to catch it?
But my thing is, this is what I'm saying. Like when Ashley says that she's disrespectful, like if we just had a conversation, we agreed that we're not going to be in each other's space. You said, okay, well, it's dead in the water. We done. We cool.
Right.
You
and
should
what
be
you
walking
should
the
have said to
opposite
Cliff
way.
was, we leaving.
Exactly.
Your next thing to Cliff should have been, come on, babe. We out of here.
Right.
Let's go.
But instead, you going, to me, if I was Ashley, I would have felt like, now you provoking me. Because you're going back into my suite. I'm telling you, you can leave, and you're telling me you ain't going nowhere.
Is it just me? And I'm just asking, putting it out there, Shade Squad, and for my two hosts here, do y'all think Joi is a little entitled? And it's just a question. The only reason I say that is because I would never, like Nell said, if you tell me you don't want me in your space, first of all, like I said, I wouldn't have shown up if it was already uncomfortable. But we got to film, we got to do the thing. Fine, I understand it's about business, it's about money. But once you tell me, and we've just had that conversation, I'm leaving. I'm walking out. I'm not going to say, I ain't got to leave.
And it was
I don't want to. And it just
what it came from.
You really think
conversation.
Like, you think because you're on the show, you're not entitled to get your is what it's giving.
Like that's my thing. We sitting outside, we having a cordial conversation.
Right.
We did get a little bit loud, but we brought it back down. We agree we don't want to be in each other's space. Now I feel like you're playing in my face because that's what you want. You want this. You want the mean girl Ashley.
You want the smoke.
No, and I ain't gonna lie. I would have pulled about her little lie.
I wouldn't have gone back in. I'm texting Cliff, or I'm standing at the door saying, babe, let's go. I'll explain later. Let's go. Yeah, and he should be in tuned enough with her that when she says, babe, let's go, it shouldn't be no hesitation.
Right.
Like when we can have a conversation when we get down the hall, and if the Tylers want to come, they can follow me. But I'm no longer entertaining this. We're leaving. Let's go.
Even if she went back in to get Clifton, right? She's like, hey, let me, run back in. And Ashley's like, oh, well, you can leave. She's like, okay, well, you know what? Let me get my husband, whatever. Fine. But to respond, oh, I don't gotta leave. Yes, you do. I will drag you up out of here if you don't just leave on your own. We just had this conversation. I would have felt so disrespected. I'm not gonna lie. I would have smacked the. We don't condone violence, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but I definitely. I definitely understand. I feel you, because I said the same thing. As far as the argument, it was going nowhere. Neither one of them were really in a place. Like neither one of them were ready. Neither one of them were in a place. So that conversation really was dead before it got started.
Right.
And here's, I like Ashley, but here's the issue for me. Either you're in a place where you're ready to move forward because you know what you have to do for your job, or you're not. And if you're in a place where you're not ready to move forward now production has to make a decision. Somebody got to go. Because what we can't do is this. We can have arguments and we can, it's all about the drama. We get it. But what we can't do is that. Because now you're absolutely saying, I refuse to film with you. You must leave my suite. You have to go. And now you don't want to be around her. So where do we go? It's the same thing we're dealing with Potomac. Where do we go now?
Right.
If you refuse to be with me and we refuse to film, and their cast isn't that big. Mm-hmm. So where do we go?
That's a great question, because like you say, if we're gonna give Ashley that same responsibility, we got to give it to Joi and her with Sharella and whatever. So like you said, the cast is really not that big. Honestly, I would just, if we could just ride it out to see how Ashley and Winter got so close. Because really, I said since the beginning, I said if them two can get on the same page, that is a dynamic duo. So
well,
I just want to see that play out.
So y'all need to go. You guys need to go look at the interview that they did with Carlos Saturday night. It was a really good interview. They talked a lot about behind the scenes stuff. So, like for example, Carlos admitted that production made Quick invite Clifton and Joi.
Oh, okay.
So Ashley was like, I wanted Sharelle and Black, but y'all told me no, that Sharelle and Black couldn't come, but Clifton and Joi came. So I think that might be another reason why Ashley might have already had an attitude, because she really just didn't even want them to come. There. Right. Okay. And her thing was, we can film, but can we film with the other people on the show? And production was like, no. But as far as that question you just asked, they sort of talked about that a little bit on with the interview, because when Ashley was saying that her and Winter, she said what happened was after the Christmas party 2 Christmases ago, she said she reached out to Winter. She said, listen, she decided, listen, I think what she was thinking was, I gotta get along with somebody on this damn show. So
Right.
she said she reached out to Winter, invited Winter over. She said she had a girls' night at her house. Winter came. Ashley, her best friend came. She said she invited Urana. Urana did not come, but she said that was the night that they really talked it out. She said we sat on my steps in my basement and we really went through and we talked it out. And she said we don't agree on everything. You know, there are things that I do that Winter still doesn't like, and vice versa. But we're building a friendship. So friends don't always have to agree.
Yeah,
we get to know each other and we're understanding each other. So she sort of explained how they became friends. She said, you know, she reached out and she said she invited Urana and Urana said no. So.
And then I hate to say it, but even when you see like past scenes where that, hear me out, because I admit it, I'm that friend. But now that you tell that story, I feel like Ashley had every right to feel validated or worried that she was losing, or her friend, you know what I mean, to her friendship.
When you say choosing sides, doesn't that make it seem like you're choosing a side? If you're refusing to come to my house for a girls' night, and they literally live in like the same neighborhood. It ain't like she had
Is
to
it
go.
just me, or do they live in Upper Marlboro? Because they look like they live in Upper Marlboro.
They live in Upper Marlboro. I
Okay.
know. Yeah, I know where they live. They don't. Well, anyway, I don't want to tell nobody my business, but yeah.
Right. No, I just know I've driven around Maryland
because they live in the same neighborhood as Candace. They all live in the same neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Candace,
they're neighbors. Yes.
I thought she was in Potomac. Look, that's a sidebar. That's a sidebar.
No. The only person that's in Potomac is Karen and now NECA. That's it. Robin lives in Baltimore County. Mia lives in Baltimore. Wendy lives in, I forget the name of the county, but she's on the other side of Baltimore.
Isn't she like Aberdeen or something? Like she's in
something like that. Yeah, she's on the other side of Baltimore. Ashley lives in Virginia. And Giselle lives in Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The only person that lives in Potomac is Karen, and then like I said, and now NECA.
How did y'all feel about Clifton? Because Ashley is talking about how he got in her face when he leaned over.
He did lean into her.
He said, I'm trying to figure out what your problem is.
Yeah, he did lean into her.
But he's a big guy. Not saying Ashley's a small girl, but I'm would really be. He leaned into her. And if it was me, I would absolutely, that would, again, like I said, I think it's like a dopamine for her. That just gave her more of a drive to turn up even more. So that wasn't smart. Joi, again, like she said, Joi should have came, collected her man. They should have left, and they could have talked about it after, and we could have seen that footage. Because unfortunately, what's going to happen, Clifton is going to be deemed the new Marceau of DC. He in women's business, being petty. He's about to get the title of being sassy and being like the new Marceau. If you see the previews for next episode, it's definitely going that direction.
Because even when he said to quit, because in his confessional, he was like, yeah, I mean, if it was up to me, I wouldn't be having this conversation because that's women's business and I don't get in it. But then he says to quit, yeah, it's a good thing I wasn't there because it would have went a different way. What's that supposed to mean?
That's exactly what Quick said. What that mean?
Because those were women. That was women's business. Like the two women were fighting. Like what? I mean, if you mean you would have picked up your wife and carried her out the house, okay. But other than that, what you talking about?
Right.
Look, who this for?
And look, Nels, you said something last review, like Quick was supposed to be scared of Clifton. I said, all Quick got to do is kick him in his back. Done.
He might not be able to
read his back. But yeah, I don't think Quick. I mean, Quick might be a little dude, but Quick definitely is a street dude, and I don't think he ain't afraid easily.
Right. But yeah, y'all, Well, thank you so much for tuning in to our
Yes,
recap
thank
of the
you.
love
And thank
and
you
marriage.
for coming.
Stop for
Really did.
having me. I had a good time.
We had a
Yes,
good
and
time with you
hopefully
too.
y'all will follow us and catch us. Hopefully, we'll really be in her panel to cover Real Housewives of Potomac, which, like
Yes.
you said, is a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on in this area, y'all. There's a lot of stuff going on in this area. But we want to thank you. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like button.
Make sure you comment
Make sure you subscribe.
and hit the notification bell.
Yes.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG. And y'all, don't forget, it is very close. We are getting into Pisces season.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so when I
Oh
drop
boy.
that cash app at the bottom, here, hold on, let me put it up. Let me put it up. I'm just saying, all donations are welcome. Okay, get your girl ready for the birthday month. Okay, and like I
One
said,
time for the birthday girl.
okay, I'll donate a little bit to the channel, but it's my birthday. Okay, let me live. But yeah, y'all. So we want to thank you. Y'all have a good night. Love you. Bye bye.
Good night.
Night.